here now.
All right. My name is Stephen P. Laverty. I'm a litigation paralegal in Boston, Massachusetts. I investigate, research, and prepare cases for trial for attorneys. I first met Mr. Muncie through a client of mine who requested that I attempt to assist him in this matter. I think it's important to note here that at his request I contacted first William Romero, the court reporter for the court in Delaware County, California. Mr. Romero's office denied any knowledge of Mr. Muncie or any documents pertaining to Mr. Muncie in possession of that office. In addition to that, I contacted both private agencies in Delaware County that deal with doing transcripts for the courts and depositions. Both those agencies denied having any possession of any documents relating to Mr. Muncie and denied ever hearing of the person who appears on all the court documents as having taken these depositions. I think it's important to note here that other than the cases that Mr. Muncie has mentioned, the crux of the matter is that in 1963, the U.S. Supreme Court decided a case of one Henry Alford. Henry Alford had been charged with murder in the first degree. Mr. Alford felt at that point that there was more than enough evidence to convict him, and therefore he copped, as we say, a plea, cut a deal to get a lighter sentence. And he took a plea for second-degree murder with a mandatory 20 to life term. Mr. Alford was let out after 15 years, and then they hit him with additional probation time, which was not part of the original deal. In the Supreme Court decision, the Supreme Court clearly found that any time attacked on additionally that was not known to a criminal defendant when the criminal defendant pled guilty and accepted a plea bargain arrangement was in violation of his 14th Amendment rights to due process. And the U.S. Supreme Court overturned his conviction, and ultimately Mr. Alford won a suit against the state of Tennessee in this matter. The crux of the problem here is that in this particular county, apparently, the federal court and what the federal court has to say about matters like this has been totally ignored. In fact, in one court hearing, Mr. Muncie was told by the judge, "I don't care what the federal court has to say, it doesn't mean anything here in Delaware County, California." In essence, Mr. Muncie's constitutional rights have been violated. The time he has served is far and above what he is required to serve under the deal he agreed to. And by all rights, his sentence should be and conviction should be overturned, and this man should be set free. I have never, at least in the 7 years I've been involved in this business, ever heard of something this. In the 7 years that I have been a litigation paralegal, I have never seen such a blatant disregard for an individual's constitutional rights. The right to due process is something guaranteed every American by the Constitution of this nation. And in Mr. Muncie's case, this right to due process has been totally disregarded by the courts of Delaware County, California. It is my hope that this case will be given a fair hearing before the California Supreme Court, and in addition to that, hopefully the federal court, and that Mr. Muncie's sentence will be commuted, that his conviction will subsequently be overturned, and that Mr. Muncie will be allowed to live in the state of California in whatever lifestyle Mr. Muncie chooses. Let's roll it back a little, okay? I managed to get all the news channels to come. All of them came out. One didn't show, okay? They filmed the demonstration, or parts of it. They filmed the shit in City Hall, or parts of it, all right? Now, that was pretty much all right.
And you actually got the news media to come.
I actually got them to come.
Yes. That's a good way, good method.
Well, see, I have a connection at each station.
Okay.
Several years ago, I worked on a case with the Commission Against Discrimination. That people lived in this house up on Washington Street in Brighton, and the area was double zoned for business and residence. When Cablevision went in, Cablevision said every Boston resident has the right to Cablevision if they wanted to, they're going to get it. Now, in these people's case, they didn't get it. They paid the money. They wouldn't do the extra work required to give them the cable.
Which was?
Which was required stringing a wire across a commercial property and putting, stuff on it to hold it from leaning down.
Yeah.
They never returned their money. Anyway, we went before the Commission Against Discrimination. The case ultimately was settled privately. They got their cable and they got some money besides. But I got my picture and the story into the Brighton Allston Citizen, which no longer exists, unfortunately. Good paper.
Yeah.
We did get channels 4 and 5 to show up. Channel 7 had a busy news day. 56, I couldn't even get a hold of the guy there, so that didn't work. But the 2 channels that did show up came up pretty good on our side. Because everybody in Boston is pissed at Cablevision anyway. They're ripping the city off and ripping off the people, but we ultimately won the case. But in this last thing, out of the 3 coverages, okay, because I didn't see 56, I saw 4, 5, and 7 as this street musicians demonstration. Virginia, what's her name, from Channel 7 then went out and interviewed the very people that were responsible for pissing people off about the street musicians, and that was this very loud rock band who have a tendency to annoy residents further down on Brattle Street where there are apartment buildings in that area. That's why people get pissed off, and they interviewed them.
Who was that?
Virginia Block.
Was the interviewer?
Yeah, for Channel 7.
And what was the band they were?
Don't
Blue
remember.
Fox and his crew? The blues band?
It's not a blues band.
It's
They were out in Harvard Square last night.
Yeah, okay, I know who you're talking about.
Okay, this guy looks kind of Irish, but
I want to say the Pretenders, but it ain't.
Right, so anyway, they interviewed him and said, whoa, but he came off like a real jerk.
Yeah.
Okay, instead of you interviewing those of us that came to City Hall, okay,
They interviewed them.
they interviewed some jerk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the opposing side.
The coverage for Channel 7 was somewhat biased.